Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be with you here in New York and you here in different parts of the world. I'm very feel very honored to be here. Thank you for the invitation, Rick, and thank you also to Jean-Louis Cohen, our common friend, great architecture historian and critic who put us in touch. And now I'm here. Also, thank you to my donor, Elizabeth Krief and Jacques Manardo, who offered me this art residency this month in New York at the Invisible Dog, that's true, but also at Philadelphia and Washington. And thank you very much to be with us today. I propose to show you a few pictures of my work. I will start with this title. So from concrete to light, and in habitable artwork. On this first slide, you can see on the right and on the left, you have a picture of concrete. So this is a detail of one of my first concrete artwork. It's made, you see this surface, it's made of precious concrete. So in fact, I invent a process to invite the concrete to express itself. So now it's a pattern. So without any mouth, according to how you touch the concrete during the crystallization, you can provoke this asperity of surface. And so each piece is unique. So it could be in teeny size, or my biggest piece is 11 meter high. So it goes through the roof of the headquarters of the company. And on the right, there's another picture. I won drawing competition with this concretography. So in fact, what I did, I put 3.5 meters concrete slab in a press, like to do lithography, but I replace the stone by my concrete. And because I work with only high performance fiber reinforced concrete, it was very strong, and due to these asperities of surface, you obtain this volume on the paper. Okay, so that's good. So then I continue to work on concrete and to try to break the idea that we can have that the concrete is heavy. So here you can see in a museum this cosmogony of these teeny planets that look like in levitation. So they are in high performance reinforced concrete with color and with optical fibers. And if you wish, I have one with me. So for those who are here in New York, I have a planet. So, and on the right side of the screen, you have there's Nostracena. So it's a white sheet of 2 meters by 1 meter with another process that I patent is color red engraving. So thanks to this process, I can write down in the concrete any colors of any form. Here for this artwork, it was a reinterpretation of La Scena of Leonardo da Vinci. So here we are also, for this show, it was my solo show at National Archive. So it was the first time that there are many contemporary artwork in this castle downtown Paris. So as you can see on this picture, but on this, also on the other picture, the link with the environment. Then another concrete, but outside now. So I was commissioned for the celebration of the Second War landing. So we are on Utah Beach at Normandy landing, and you can see a little part of the concrete wall. So you have the Atlantic wall, and this is the first bridge. And I was commissioned to do a monument to celebrate American veterans now who came and opened that. So I have the idea to do instant, so this piece linked to instant photograph that was invented by Americans during the Second World War II, the Second World War. And also, so it's very thin, no metal inside, high performance fiber reinforced concrete, and inside you don't really see, maybe on the peak, on the top with veteran Milène Guermont from Boston. I have used my process of colored engraving to put in blue the print, for example, on the side of one end of veterans. So you have 80 end prints of 80 American veterans who came here 75 years ago. And it was at this moment when some American veterans who sent me their hand, but I didn't speak with them, someone who was in charge to find them, came after the official speech to hug me and to say, La France. It's at this moment that I have really considered the power of artwork in public space. And thanks to this, then I wanted to do more work linked to the public. Now, come back inside. If I work with concrete, it's because it was in 2007, I was downtown Geneva, and I touched a concrete circular wall, and I have strongly the feeling to be on the beach. I was in Switzerland, but I have really the feeling to be in Normandy. And so I designed a very thin sculpture called time metric stable. And when you touch the slab of concrete, you can listen to the sound of the ocean. So it was my first piece in Polysensual.
I'm on, that's why the noise is going up.
Please mute yourself if you're not a speaker in this program, and I don't think you realize.
I don't know what to do. What to do?
Maybe if you can, you can maybe mute on the other.
Sure, this person has the right. Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's okay.
Well, shame you mentioned it.
So then I wanted to explore again more the material, to go again, far, push the limit of the material. So here you have agua in blue. So you have blue pigment inside the concrete. It's 6.5 meter high, only 4 centimeters, no metal inside, no metal inside. So it was really a challenge. We were not sure that it will work, but it did. And when you touch the big wave, according to your magnetic field, you can listen to the sound of ocean. And then I did MINI AGUA that you can see in white. She's smaller. And MINI AGUA, it's a wall, but this wall moved. And now you can see this wall. That was the sculpture of the French pavilion of the last international exhibition, which was in Astana, Kazakhstan. And I have a video to share with you how it's work. My windows were stopped, but if I have, I will do a new one. Okay, perfect. So I will. I don't know if you see my screen.
What people are seeing on the Zoom is that.
So new share. Okay, perfect. I think it is a good one. Okay, the screen are sharing. It's not easy, but okay. Enter. So very interactive. So maybe I will start again in this way again. It was very funny because this Russian visitor said it's looked like her, you know. So it's really funny. It's what I like, you know, with interaction with the public. It's each time different. So when you see, when people touch, You can have some forms of concrete. Okay. No. This is part of the presentation, is to say that this Polysensual Concrete sculpture, of course, work with men also. Let's succeed.
Good thing that Philip Johnson did know that.
So then on this screen, you can see all the Polysensual Concrete with a, oops. What's happening? Oops. Okay, so I have to stop share and to come back to another share. Okay, we will do it. Share. Hopla, now we are.
Let me just admit everybody in the meeting.
Yes, it's not easy to do everything on the same go. It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so other kind of form you can see with crystalline. So when you touch it, according to your magnetic field, you can have sound of the city. In fact, you can put any kind of sound that you want. Some of my other work, you can have sound and light. And on the right, you have Cause. Cause is a permanent monument in the Montparnasse Cemetery. It's a classified area of the cemetery. So we need 3 special authorization to do this piece. High performance fiber concrete and optical fibers. As you can see in the planet, the light goes through. I don't know if you see the light that goes through. So here you don't need to put LED or electronic, it's just the light from outside and tiny craters on this one. So now, could you recognize what is this place? Okay, have you, all of you, have you ever been there? So this is the obelisk from Luxor. This is the oldest monument of Paris city. And voila. And so now this is my artwork in dialogue with.
And this isn't a Photoshop, right? This is a real photo.
Yeah. It was there for 6 months, and now that there are less COVID, the pyramid will travel. We are working on that, and this is by day, and this is exactly from the same point of view by night. So this, I have this, so you see, I am Miss Concrete in France, my nickname given by the architect Claude Parent. But there's a competition from UNESCO for the International Year of Light, and I propose to do a beacon of headlight of car, a beacon of light of cars, and which is why I propose a form like that. And then I propose Place de la Concorde, and I want you to dialogue with the obelisk. So I have now a video to explain that. And this is, I have to then share my screen. Okay. Zoom. Okay. There's a waiting room. to see the 3D scan of all the pattern. I have just to stop the. We have to stop the. You have to stop the. It's not easy with one computer because.
There we go.
Okay. I don't know what is this things, but okay. Okay. Oof. Okay. Okay, I'm back because okay, I want just to the pose. I'm sure that the pose is there. Okay. Okay. No. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. So now I can come back to some presentation. You don't need to, Rick.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know where we're at.
Oh,
here.
the right twisting of the yes. Never mind. Okay, never mind. You will wait maybe next time. Okay. Okay, never mind. So let's continue. Okay. So I'm back to the presentation. And I will share this good screen. No. It's not easy. Okay, maybe you see my screen? Yes, perfect. So this piece phare was one of the two artwork promoted during the debate at Le Bourget for the COP21 due to the saving of resources you see in the video for electricity, but also material. It was a lot of, it was really a piece of engineering to be seen to really save metal. And also the artwork was protected by thorny lemon trees that are used by French army to protect sites. So it was at the end. And I like the idea that nature protects piece made by men. So this is phare. So you see the dialogue with Egypt. You know that obelisks were always built in pair. So this is the idea. And then there is some terrorist attack in Paris, and all friends were very sad. So I have the idea to shut down the piece for a few days and then to reconnect to the light, to reconnect to the heart of Paris. And for me, one of the heart of Paris is the Eiffel Tower. So during 4 days around the Valentine's Day, we propose a performance called a bit that I will show you now. Okay. And I will share this. Okay, c'est parti. So you own heartbeat thanks to the cardiac sensor far, light up far, but also the Eiffel Tower and the Montparnasse Tower. And it was the first time of all history that the Eiffel Tower dialogue with another monument. And when people kissed, it go faster. It was great to be on the top of the Eiffel Tower. Organize it. Okay, stop sharing. And up. Close. Okay, perfect. This is closed. Now, come back to the presentation. Okay, so then, as you could see, I designed for to be really in the perfect continuation of the pyramidion. This is the golden cap of the obelisk. But you see, it's missing here because it's thanks to the view that the pyramidion of the obelisk do the end of the pyramid part. So I decided after that to create another artwork for the missing peak. And this work is pyramidion. So one pyramidion is in London, another one is in France. Exactly the same process. So the people can go inside, and when they touch the caps, the sensor pyramidion light up according to your orbit. And during the Brexit, when London go into pyramidion in London, thanks to Wi-Fi, the pyramidion in France light up. So even if there are some border, I really believe that art can go above. So now we go to the last part of this project. So you see the concrete part, the light part, and now the inhabitable total artwork. So in fact, like many of you, I made a flat. And I really like the neighborhood of New Haven in Paris. So it's where 1 century ago, a lot of artists came to work together, and the birth of the Salon Literary. And so in the street of the total artwork, you have Renoir, Wagner, Liszt, Georges Sand, Chopin, so many. And I like this space. So I bought a travel agency, very old one. And so it's now 3 years and a half that I work with more than 100 companies to make this, to transform this travel agency in my flat. But in fact, it will never be my flat because it's become now a total artwork. So I have designed everything from the parquet to the hair that is purified with new tech, the water also. We have, it's really a mix of, for example, haute couture. I have the best dressmaker of Chanel, or the best sommelier of the world. So it's really a mini company, and each time of excellency. And I have some prototype like this piece. I'll show you. So this piece is really a technical prowess. It's 3 materials, 3D print. So you recognize, so you have stainless, brass and gold. And inside I put a natural pearl. So we were really not sure to make it, but we did. And for you who are here, I have other, so maybe if you want to and I have also prototype. So as you can see with this first image, this artwork is public in a way because the public in the street can go into what's happened. We can do show, we can organize many things, lecture, why not? But also inside, everything is designed, each handle, each switch, each spoon is designed. So you will recognize in all these artwork objects, it's names that I give to these sculptures that as function. You can recognize the three colors of the pyramid PHARES, so the gold, the white of the light, and the blue sky of Paris that fill the pyramid. So the blue, the gold, and the white, the pyramid form with a triangle, but also the clouds that very often in Paris city sky. So this is 3D print, stainless, and then, so you can see the process line, and then you have a 24 gold. So it's really the mix of very high-tech technique and very ancestral one. So during the tour to the here, oh, I have also a teeny part of colored engraving and concrete. So and so this is the teaspoon. So and we decide to just polish this part. And so each artwork, because I am a French sculptor, each spoon will be made only in 10 times, and each spoon is certified original artwork. And in fact, the first one of this artwork culture was this one. So this is jam spoon, because I'm greedy, you know, and it was totally polished. And then I make the also that you have in your hand, and I sent that to the goldsmith without saying him to polish. So it was raw, and you see all the line, and I think it was very interesting. So then I told him, oh yeah, please just polish this and this stuff. So in this project, because it's really an experimental project, you know, you can imagine to work with 100 companies to design everything. Many times some mistake become advantage. And I will share with you the teaser of that. Oops, I don't know what it is. Oh yes, it's yes. Okay, welcome Catherine. I see Jean-Jacques Trati also. Okay, perfect.
Ah, ça y est.
No problem. So let's continue with the teaser, if you like, of this. Ok, c'est parti.
Voilà. Sa conférence.
Ça, c'est en temps réel, là. Ou pas?
Oui.
En temps réel. Tiens, bah regarde.
Rien. Tu l'as vu, tu vas bien voir.
I don't know what's also.
Ah bah oui, mais non, pas comme ça.
I think I will start from this. So many screen, pop-up screen. Okay.
Usually just do one PowerPoint at a time.
Ça va pas être ça.
Okay. I don't know what's happened, but I think what is the sound? I don't know. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so this is the teaser. It's someone that is not mute. That is mute. So you see in my work the link with the touch, the link with innovation, and here you see Place de la Concorde, Montmartre, and now this is you on Montmartre.
Oui, un peu, oui.
Take. There's someone not mute and it's disturbed. We have to stop the mute. Okay, I will do that and I will mute.
Il y a 0,52.
People.
C'est chez menu, hein.
Do you know how to mute them, all of them? Yeah, ask to mute because
If everyone could mute themselves.
Je comprends rien.
Jean-Jacques,
Je comprends pas ce qui se passe. I don't understand what you do.
hello, Jean-Jacques from New York.
Yes.
If you can mute your screen, that will be so great. Si tu peux unmute ton.
This should be done.
Okay, now everybody's mute. I accept Martine if she can mute. Okay, because we cannot hear. Okay, ask to mute. Okay, so
Just a 20-minute one.
okay, perfect. Yes, so let's try to finish this teaser maybe, and we will finish by that.
I was thinking of dropping my stuff off at the hotel and
Okay, so that was the last movie I think for today. Okay. That's okay. Okay, let's back to the presentation. Up, la. I don't know why this happened. Okay, so this is the facade with the domotition plan on the. Okay. Okay, so this is the alcove or prototype, and this is a shot just before coming. So you are the first one to see this piece. You have different concepts in this inhabitable artwork. One of them is this is a stratagem that I found to have artwork next to me, I give them function. Okay, so which is why the handle, the pyramidion become an handle. In this way, I can justify to have this handle next to me. So on the left part, you have when it is closed, so there is some door, wide door. One is open, one is closed, just to show you. And so it's like a frame, a white frame, and inside you have like a landscape, you know, with the teeny cloud. You see the white. So when you press this handle, when you press the cloud, the water come from the golden faucet. You see the blue part like that. It's ceramic with enamel. Each piece is more than 40 minutes to make one. So you can imagine on the first ground, you see a bar, you see the coin, you know, so we need to do a special mold just for this 7 triangle. So it's really a lot of work, but the concept also is you have a sculpture. So you have this frame, white frame with this landscape. At the moment, you want some function. So the door open and slide. And when you open then this big door, you have the fridge, and there you have the oven. And so all this artwork is made like that, you know. So for example, on the right, on the top, you see a big form, white, what it is. Yes. Yes, it is a cloud. And what does a cloud give to you usually? Rain. Exactly that. So this is le bar douche. So in this side of the total artwork, so bar douche is bar shower. You can have a glass of champagne from the fridge. In the bar, in fact, you have a coffee machine that grounds the coffee, blah, 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 and can make you a marvelous cafe latte. And you shower, because this cloud is a shower. Wow. So you can imagine if you have the form, but then the form has to become functional. So
this cloud is a shower. C'est une petite douche. Hein.
Exactly. It's very great. So maybe now we will finish with some questions of all of you. Maybe we can keep on this image. So maybe we can unmute.
I don't need this.
So
Total artwork.
So I don't know if the people here can see. This is
Je crois que c'était dans le langage populaire. Tu veux un œuf? Non, non, mais non, je te plaisante. Alors, où est-ce qu'elle est? On est sur l'extérieur, évidemment, du logement. Là, on repart dans la pyramide.
Well, we have about 10 minutes. We can go a few minutes later since we started a few minutes late, but not too much more than that. there were a bunch of people around the table ogling the samples and prototypes, and there are people online, I'm sure, who have questions. But I'd like to start because the work is extraordinary, and the precision and the detail and the imagination and the combination and the juxtapositions go beyond anything that I've seen. But if you step back from the beauty of the particular objects or their conjunction, the thing that really strikes me about the intersection of engineering and art in your work is the materiality. You know, whether it's in concrete or in aluminum or in other hybrid materials that are one thing and then another, stainless with a gold leaf. The appreciation of the material properties is extraordinary. Which side of the line, which side of the brain does that come from? Is that from your formation as an engineer, or did you decide, as we've seen in some public art projects in New York, the ones that are most successful, I'll name Julie Domansky among others, who worked with construction materials rather than applied esoteric objects from outside of the construction process. Where does your motivation start?
So that was also and was and due to the volume on Place de la Concorde that is pretty vast, you know, and I wanted to set material and to say that we can continue to be big things that within being sustainable, I decided to work with that a material that is done for one context, you know. That for is a pleasure. Is work with haute couture, new challenge again. So I really don't know what to do. And we learn next. Cannot go like that, you know. So it will be a tour only for 10 persons once a month.
Like Donald Judd's house downtown in Soho here.
What's the question?
I have two other questions, then maybe we'll, you know, turn the camera around and focus on some of the other people in the room and try to also entertain questions from the audience, virtual audience. Light is a more evanescent material, more ethereal, works better at night. It's there and it's not there. It reflects, it illustrates, it informs. And until very recently, like an hour ago, I thought that Paris was the city of lights, la lumière, because of its lights. It seemed tautologic, it seemed logical. Who knew? Well, Google knew. if they're right, they may not be. I haven't done any fact checking yet. That the original impetus to call Paris la Ville Lumière, the city of light, was from the Enlightenment. And the Enlightenment, if you think about it, 1715 with the death of Louis XIV up until, say, 1789, pick a odd number, was a juxtaposition of advances in the arts and sciences in all fields. Diderot, Rousseau, Montesquieu, you can go down the litany of people who were multi-talented. And the idea that light was a transformative phenomenon, you know, the end of the Dark Ages, a few years after. You know, in looking at all of the work that you've shown today, oh, it's spectacular. You know, whether it's the images of the polysensual concrete and how they're illuminated, whether it's even the interiors, you know, for the habitable tonal art, light informs and suggests and provokes. How do you consider light as fundamental or not to your work? Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my project is
You know, the sidewalks of New York, they've written songs about the sidewalks of New York. They were all stone, you know, blue stone or the equivalent cobblestones in some cases, I guess, slate perhaps, until 1913 with the construction of the municipal building by McKinley and White, where the first concrete sidewalks in New York were used. That was a centennial not too long ago that actually wasn't celebrated. You think it would have been. But where did New York get it from? Well, everything that happens in Paris happens in New York, you know, 8 or 10 or 20 years later, depending. Concrete, you know, maybe went back to ancient Rome. Maybe they had sidewalks in Scotland, who knows? But that New York got concrete from Paris, Auguste Paris, and many others. Concrete has become, I won't say problematic, but argumentative in terms of its environmental qualities of late. One of the students here at Columbia has experience in his prior research in introducing rubber as an aggregate to try to make concrete both lighter in weight and a little bit more biologically organic. Have you been criticized in France for being Miss Concrete or Mrs. Concrete? Yeah. Well, and I've left this image on to prompt my third question, because amongst all of the American architects who have made a splash over time, all of the star architects, certainly, architects big and small, the only one that I've never quite understood, that's about as positive as I can be, about the individual who's sort of staring at the wall, Philip Johnson. I was fortunate through Vincent Scully to meet Philip Johnson when I was young and impressionable, and my first impressions were absolute hatred. And they haven't much tempered, and they can go into that over a drink sometime. But Philip Johnson was playful. He had a sense of humor. He treated women in his firm extremely well, when most American firms of the time were misogynist. And he also, toward the end of his career, proposed something over the Ear Inn, or next to the Ear Inn downtown in Lower Manhattan, called habitable sculpture. And it was going to be a 26-story tower. The developer was Antonio Vendôme. I don't think he was French, but Antonio Vendôme. And it was based, coincidentally or not, on crushed cars, not the lights of the cars on the fab, but on the forms. It was a very faceted cubist proposal. And having more than once had a beer at the Ear Inn, I was delighted when it crashed, by Landmarks Preservation Commission. Said, "You must be joking." But the idea of art and life together, Philip Johnson, the gentleman with the bow tie, he kind of lived that. He had the glass house, but he didn't really live in it. He entertained in it, and so I was intrigued when we were in Paris together a few weeks ago, and I got to see the chantier, which is progressing very, very, very well. It was exciting to see how close the images are to the renderings. To hear that you're not planning on living there after all.
And I wanted to share some space.
It's Rue de la Brière, in what used to be called Pigalle, no? And that's an adjective as well as a noun. It's yeah. Okay.
And there's still the night. And I wanted just to say two things.
Yeah. Well, I'll do a plug for the Center for Architecture, the AIA space. It's not. There's a lot of concrete, including Andrew Berman's new concrete slab, the lecture hall where Vladimir Belalovsky spoke wonderfully last night. What I'm thinking about, though, is the ductile concrete that we saw. That was so much stronger than the concrete of its time. That sample has been there. The sample is maybe 3 meters by 3 meters. You saw it. Huge. It was so heavy once it was installed on a brick wall in the staircase that no one ever wanted to remove it. But what occurred to me last night, maybe for the first time, was that it was a work of art. The form, the sensuality of it. It's not polysensual. Maybe it's unisensual, but it was very sensuous. Why does concrete have such a harsh reputation, a brutal reputation?
Yes, of course, because after World War II, a lot of cities has to be made quickly, and concrete can offer quickly a lot of shelter. It's the difference between the products that we saw yesterday. Just to show that it could be a form like that, it could be a form like that. This is a
I have many other questions, but I'll belay them because we're running out of time. Is there anyone around the table? Yasmin, I'm going to turn the camera toward you. If people can see.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. So my personal interest is urban decline and the role of art, especially interactive art, let's call it, because the interaction activates the public space. And we have tried a few things. I was just going to suggest that perhaps some of these works can be in parts of cities that are totally not popular and in decline, to bring people and attention and conversation in a very playful way. That's just like maybe another layer that could be added. And I love obviously, I did a project called Dialogue City with a bunch of students, but you've taken it to a different level. That was a few years back. And we're working in a city right now that has, let's say, for lack of better words, a lot of racial issues, and it's been totally, things haven't happened to it for all the wrong reasons that should have. So we've been thinking about we didn't think let's have these lights at night that communicate in memory of one of these incredible people that used to live there that nobody knows. It's this broken city. But we're thinking put lasers, but now you bring new ideas. So these where they used to live, interact. But so thank you for the inspirational work as well. Thank you. And my question is, what do you think about public art in sort of declined parts of the cities? Have you ever had that thought? Have you tackled something like that? I'd be very curious to know.
Thank you very much for your compliment, and also I like very much your work. So it's really important for me to hear you. A bit fun with artwork. I have no time to show you all my piece, but my first camera. Camera here. My first artwork integrated to an architecture. It's outside, the outside wall of a private school of female infants. So very, very institutional. And so this piece is called MBR. You have 6 slabs of credit. And when you touch one, it's laughing. So according to your heartbeats, to your magnetic field, you can have different sound of laughing. And this without any signs. And I would love to be here the first time when a child touch and have the sound. And now this piece belongs to the pedagogy. Dad told me that he understands now why daughter touch the wall at home. So I really think, and like my piece also at habitable, when you are very respectful of the public and the public respects you, I have this feeling, it was very thin. People can put the hand in instant, but I have not tried yet US, I don't know how the public of US could react. The thing very nice with this concrete is height performance. So it can be touched. Yeah. This is also very interesting to know. And
so I'm going to ask if there's anyone in the virtual audience who has a question. Put that in the chat room, or if you prefer, I could unmute you and you could pose it verbally. But we're running out of time. We've gone over time a little bit.
Do you have another question?
I probably do. Penny, do you have a question? Yeah, let me turn this around.
I love your magic bag.
You keep pulling things out. It's a tiny bag, and it's really just delightful. And I was curious, so much of what you've been doing recently is the hybrid of craft and digital, of kind of something virtual and that creates something real. And I wanted to learn a little bit more your take on that, kind of that hybrid digital and physical, or the hybrid craft and virtual. Like, what are you excited to explore next? what drives these explorations?
In fact,
You know, I tried using many computers around the table to avoid having to do that, and the feedback was worse.
thank you very much for your work. Two things here for the inhabitable total artwork. The first ideas came by necessity. I need a bed, so I will draw the pile bed. But why a bed today? I need a shower, but the space is tiny. No, and there are so many other stuff. We have a magical parquet, so you have the libraries under your feet. I mean, the dishwasher also, because you don't want to see your dishwasher all day. So, you know, many ideas, but due to the really builds, you know, I need toilets. So why toilet today and what could be interesting to do? So each time, which is why it's 3 years and a half, and I work a lot only on this project, and to be totally dedicated to all this company, you know, and with the COVID, it was very hard. So thank you to them again, to trust me. And also for the talents, because I'm not involved with, but the thing interesting is that most of them innovate with me and thanks to me, because I push as I am engineer, but sometimes I work with other engineer. I can understand somewhere that say, maybe you can try, and you know, and so the results arrive. So, but it's true that some company or talented people who have heard about my project call me to say, Milène, if you want, I can design for you the corset of your dream, you know, corset. So every year in France, you have the best plumber of the year, the best corsetier of the year. And so she called me that, but if of course, I would love to have a corset, but it means that I will dive in the history of the corset. Why corset today? And because if you do something, it's because it means something. It's not just a form. So I decide to say, okay, maybe after this. And also some of my partners for this project want to continue the story with me, you know, for the switch. Each switch is unique. And so, yes, so we will see how it goes. And
So there not being any questions on the Zoom. Oh,
yeah. Oh, yes, I see.
oh, okay. Let me
Oh, yeah, yes.
raise that up a little bit. Okay. Okay. Oh, excellent. Chat. How did you raise it up?
Okay.
Okay, you press Zoom. There we go. Chat. Okay, and then we go here. Okay. Question from Callie, your friend Callie. You mentioned that sometimes roadblocks presented the best opportunities. Could you please give your favorite example of a bump in the road that ended in your favor? Something that went wrong, that the error, as you said in the presentation, as you showed me in place, the mistake became the impetus for a.
I was just remembering. Not all of them, but for example, the craters at the beginning, I saw that and then it was a mistake. So it's interesting. So I wanted to do how to do that in a big scale. So for the last one, a special part of wood, but doesn't mean anything. In this scale, it's better just like that. Or I told you with the fact to be polished or not polished. So it's all, for example, a linge de lit, so all the clothes for the bed, so each thing size. And because bed triangle. And so I try to revisit it, so to deep in the history of the ancestral technique to refresh it. So sometimes it can be mistake, and sometimes it's just a desire to know more. I'm very convinced that we can create new images. other questions?
I have two more very quickly. One detail, one big picture to conclude. The detail question is precision. You know, when we look at the space and we look at the objects that inform it, the precision is extraordinary. And I remember when I was a very young architect doing site supervision for a French client who will go nameless, but their store was on 57th Street, now on Madison, so you could figure it out. There was lots of argumentation about the level of precision that was possible by normal construction means in New York. And my perception at the time was that the expectations and the level of craft and skill in Europe in general and Paris in particular was phenomenal. What are your expectations in terms of precision? What's the tolerance?
It works. Even if it's concrete, the precision is really, really high. For the pyramid, it was done to 1 millimeter. Why? Because when you have 3 and 160 triangle, if you have 1 centimeter here at the end, it will be horrible. So, which is why it seems like that not very complex, but in fact, when you want to be very precise, or when you see the picture of the bardouche, when you want that the facet arrive exactly there, when you have then handmade ceramic, and then you have wooden and the kitchen and the wall that is not parallel, when you want to be very, so which is why it's a lot of work.
Actually leads directly into my last question, and then I'm going to thank you and thank everyone else here and thank people online. This is recorded so that people who couldn't be here with us today or even online can see it. My last question, in looking at how perfect the positioning, not just by its height, but by the geometries, by the base, even by the fence around it, and the orange trees, of course, especially the orange trees. But this is of the place. Yet there were Egyptian obelisks stolen or transported or appreciated and still in place in other cities. London comes to mind, New York, Cleopatra's Needles, so-called, back with the Metropolitan Museum. Could you imagine, it's a very rhetorical question, could you imagine this being in New York? And where?
The history depends for many reasons. We spoke about the Statue of Liberty, but also we can think about Le Traité de Versailles in 1 or 2 years that recognize the independence of the United States. So these are some idea between other, the link between us, and sometimes it's not between two countries. You can have a third, like Egypt, you know. The oldest monument of New York is the Needle. The oldest monument of Paris is the obelisk, and the Needle of Cleopatra was supposed to be on Place de la Concorde, in fact. So there is some, and the link also between engineering and artists. The Statue of Liberty is really the mix of Bartholdi, the painter, and Eiffel, the engineer. So it's flu artistic.
Great answer, and thank you so much for coming here to Columbia to talk with us. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
And, see you next time, and welcome to the opening in Paris. When will that be?
The opening will be next October. So we will finish everything this summer. And to visit, it has to be really in advance because it will be a very few, and because I have to continue my other artwork. But a book about the total artwork we are done to share also this story. And also, I don't know when it will be, but I would love to do an exhibition about the process of creation that is enormous, really enormous for this project in so many fields. So right now, I'm dream of, but I don't know where, maybe in the country of no limit, like US, to do an exhibition to explain really this target of this artwork embrace technologies, that embrace so science, but also architecture, fiction, decorative art. I mean, different departments that are usually one museum. So I dream of an exhibition in a very open-minded museum who would like to visit us to explain that to people. And the process of creation, because some things that I didn't tell you is that I don't pay anything. I don't pay anything. So all the process of this project is based on money. And I am totally also that after this pandemic time, we get more to see and to feel that we have to work together to work together. And also the questions of the touch. So you see again, so I really think that this project inspires people. You are a builder, you are a brother, you cannot support
Thank you all. Goodbye.